Hello, a very good evening to you, and many thanks for joining us on this week's edition of the Hilltop Mansion. My name is Kelvin Samuel, and just be reminded that this broadcast is reaching you live on StarTime Channel 103 and all the social media handles of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) Channel 12 for you. And if you're joining us for the very first time, know that the Hilltop Mansion is a special program designed by the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) Channel 12 for you, where we'll bring you up to date of events and happenings from the Akwa Ibom State Government House. This edition is going to feature prominently on the recent swearing in of the newly appointed permanent secretaries, as well as the inauguration of Petroleum Monitoring Committee. And thereafter, we'll be bringing you highlights from the recent press briefing where the Commissioner of Works briefed the people on the achievements of government so far from the sector. Shortly after this break, please stay.
Have you ever missed out on any events or activities of the governor, first lady, or the deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State? Worry no more. Hilltop Mansion got you covered. Hilltop Mansion is a program of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) Uyo, specifically designed to showcase the day-to-day activities of the Arise agenda.
Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
on StarTimes, Channel 103, and our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube to join us. Hilltop Mansion, showcasing the Arise agenda.
Welcome back, and many thanks for staying tuned. Now, let's begin with the swearing in of the 8 newly appointed permanent secretaries who were charged by the governor to hit the ground running, as there is no time on their side.
Performing the official swearing in of the newly appointed permanent secretaries, Governor Mo Eno commends them for their striking performances during their interviews, noting that he is not in doubt of their capacity for sound judgment and accurate understanding of his aspirations as encapsulated in the Arise agenda. He advised his team to be conscious of the high expectations of the people as his administration strives to match words with actions.
You are coming into your new position at a time of a very high expectation. We don't have the benefit of time on our side. Every available moment must be used to work for the betterment of our people, because that's why they sent us here, and that's what they sent us here to do for them.
Some of the new appointees, while expressing gratitude to the governor for the opportunity to serve, reassure of their readiness to bring their wealth of knowledge to bear in the quest for the actualization of a peaceful and prosperous Akwa Ibom State.
We pledge to ensure that the Arise agenda in the state is implemented to the letter.
High point of the event was the administration of oath of allegiance on the new appointees.
His Excellency the Governor has also inaugurated the Petroleum Monitoring Committee, as well as the board of Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund, and the Hilltop Mansion was on ground to capture both events.
Highlighting the huge contributions of Akwa Ibom State to the production capacity of Nigeria's petroleum industry, Governor Eno stresses the necessity of locating a depot in the state to make products much more accessible to the people. He notes that the Petroleum Monitoring Committee is to work in synergy with the petroleum marketers to ensure smoothness in loading, distribution, and moderation of pump prices.
You are to work with the petroleum marketers to ensure that the loading and distribution of petroleum products in our state are done without causing pain and discomfort to our people. To ensure that the pump price of fuel is in line with what obtains elsewhere. And to ensure that petroleum products are not ordered for price gouging purposes. You must ensure that any gas or petroleum station that engages in such acts is penalized to the fullest extent of the law.
The governor further notes that the Security Trust Fund is to help source funding opportunities across the globe that will enhance security in the state.
Through the effort of this task force, the incidents of kidnapping have been reduced tremendously around our waterways. Today, ferry services are resumed at full capacity between Wangiba to Calabar, Cross River State. We have also donated Hilux trucks to enable our police respond in real time to security issues.
In their acceptance speeches, the chairman, while appreciating the governor for the gesture, assured of their total commitment to the actualization of their assigned responsibility.
In line with the mandate that you have handed over to us, we will discharge our duties without fear or favor.
The two bodies that Your Excellency has inaugurated today, they have something to do with security. If the issues in regard to the fuel and the pricing of the fuel is not sorted out, it has the potential to create insecurity. And of course, the funds for having to take care of the security is also our responsibility.
High point of the event was the inauguration of the board and committee.
Up next is the highlights from the press briefing of Akwa Ibom State Government, where important information on projects were presented.
Beginning from May 29, 2023, when the ship of the present administration, captained by His Excellency Pastor Moino, PhD, says an impressive mileage has been covered in this voyage to expand the frontiers of infrastructure and consolidate on existing ones. We have categorized the infrastructure into two sets. Funding of projects inherited from previous administrations. Governor Mono has so far injected 47.93 billion into 36 of the inherited FGPC projects, while 4.04 billion was injected into 51 interventions, emergency intervention projects, inherited from the immediate past administration. This has brought us to a total of 51.94 billion, which has been spent on this category of projects. Since this administration started, we started with the ARISE agenda. So the projects under the administration, we categorize them as the ARISE projects. And in the ARISE projects, 61 projects have been initiated or flagged off in one way or the other. Some of them have been completed. The Akron Demanded Amphitheater, Tikwa Babaka, and the Grand Tunnel. Goreti is one of those to be inaugurated next week. These projects have already been completed. That's the Akron before we listed, including the Urefo 2.9 kilometer internal routes in Urefo, which is one of the projects that we categorize under our RISE agenda and have been completed with. And 151 billion has been injected to finance 50 FGPC RISE agenda projects, while 4.54 billion has been spent on 11 emergency intervention RISE projects. In total, a total of 156.2 billion has been spent on RISE agenda projects. Those are the projects of this present administration. So if we sum the inherited and initiated projects by this administration, as at 18th October 2024, 208.16 billion has been spent on road infrastructure in the states. Let me give you some updates on some of the road projects initiated. We've heard a lot about Tabernacle Road. I want to take that. And when His Excellency assumed office, that was one of the first projects flagged off. And the greater part of the work for this Tabernacle Road needed deep excavation. And from the professional advice, as at today, I was at that project 2 days ago, we are at 11 meters deep below the ground. And the cause of this very deep excavation has unfortunately slowed down, has unfortunately been slowed down by the perennial rainfall. And due to the absence of the normal August break, our programming on that road was the could have been August break. I should have made us to proceed very fast. So the reality remains that if the contractors ignore rains and continue with the evacuation, there could have been tendency of accidents or poor project delivery. However, we understand the challenges faced by commuters in seeking for alternative routes as a result of this construction. You know, we had made announcements, particularly about heavy-duty trucks not taking the internal routes. We had diverted all heavy-duty trucks to take Ikorekmene Road and abstain from taking the internal routes. Unfortunately, they refused to apply these approved routes. This has seriously impacted on the internal routes, which has caused them to collapse. And we know that the situation with the rain, we can't do anything about fixing internal roads now. So we still appeal to our Ibomites to bear with us. However, this administration, being a responsible one, we have immediately swung into action with the immediate award of contracts for the construction of the Uyo Village Road and the Bar Road stretch up to United Street. We are sure when this is done, and when this contract, the Tabernacle Road is complete, the advantage of the Tabernacle Road train system is that the Nelson Mandela section, the Itamarket section, all the flood that have been affecting that area will be brought into that underground train and will go into the jack. And that is for that, the advantages. And the contractors assured us that by December, we should be able to open that road. That is an assumption that the situation that we have on ground with the rains will abate. But be that as it may, we are there, the ministry engineers, the consultants, everybody that is in charge of that route, they are on ground to make sure that we ease the traffic in other areas and take care of that particular section. We are going to, from next week, the schedule is good. We are going to inaugurate some roads. Some of them were roads that were inherited from the previous administration. Some are the ones that were initiated. We have the 2.5 kilometer internal roads in Emilia Estate, the 13.6 Ikorobiofo in Ibesiko Sultan, No Ghana, the 10.51 Barani Mikorobo Ekonton Ikara Road, the 9.76 auxiliary roads with 60-meter bridge in Snowbin, the 4.95 Ekparakwa Ndaibesi Road in Arwana, the 2.9 Secretarial Road in Urefo, and the 22.7 kilometer Ikorokoro Road with 2 bridges. We invite, from next week, we invite, the schedule is already there, as I mentioned earlier, all of you to be part of this historic event. The dates are already online for your perusal. Well, gentlemen of the press, as we move ahead in our journey of road infrastructure expansion and consolidation, as is calculated in encapsulated in the Arise agenda. It is important that we remind ourselves that roads have a lifespan. And as it inches closer, the need for maintenance and remedial work becomes inevitable. The noticeable potholes on intracity roads has already received the government's attention, and the governor has directed the ministry to immediately engage 2 contractors, in addition to what Aprima is doing, to maintain and do remedial works on those roads. Let me say this. One of the causes, as we have said, if you go through the city, you will see that we are walking in so many sections. But when we excavate, put stone base, rains will not allow us. We leave that area until we have dry weather. And we have been trying as much as possible. We follow the rains. The speed of that filling that hole, but those potholes is not as we expect because of this situation that we have found ourselves in climate change. But be that as it may, we have increased the team, 2 teams from the ministry with agreement. So immediately we have good weather. Definitely we are going to sort out the issue of potholes within the city. And I'm sure you have noticed that when the weather becomes favorable, we intervene immediately. If you go to our park road to the teaching hospital, that section has been finished. There were so many, and some of those roads really need overlay. You know, we are talking of roads that have been done so many years ago. When you patch a pothole, you discover that it increases more and increases more. So some of those areas, we are taking note of them to do an overlay. We will continue to plead with our citizens to complement government investment in infrastructural expansion by not erecting structures on waterways, drainages, and right-of-way. We also appeal to empower people to desist from constituting themselves into emergency road construction experts through initiating additional designs like speed breakers on the roads, as this can cause any damage to the road infrastructure. The right thing to do is to approach the Ministry of Works with such suggestions. There are certain roads that need speed bumps. Approach us, we will come and check it and give an expert advice. Don't forget that cement with tar, they are not complementary at all in terms of road construction. So let's look at the journey ahead. Let me interact the firm and sincere commitment of the administration of Pastor Moyo, PhD, to complete the road infrastructure projects inherited by previous administration in Akwa Ibom State, as well as completing the ones initiated by his administration. As the rainy season ends, I assure you that this government, through the Ministry of Works and Fire Service, is set to swing into action and exert the needed pressure on contractors handling road projects to complete them within scheduled timeline. And with the perfect understanding of the quality of roads and other critical infrastructure to the actualization of the Arise agenda, we will continue to make strategic investments that will benefit our state development trajectory in the short, medium, and long term. Having said this, I want to say that let's believe in government. We as a ministry will provide the best supervision. There's no road project that doesn't have project engineer, site engineer, consultant to monitor the work of these contractors. And we assure you that these roads that we are constructing will stand the test of time. Thank you.
This is important because, first, His Excellency the Governor's disposition towards information is that information should be available in a timely and usable manner, and which is why he's asked and charged us in the Ministry of Information, the Chief Press Secretary, the media consultant, and other media aides to be available to provide information. So that is why we're here. I also do thank you that despite being a Sunday, you have decided to sacrifice some of your family time. Because I do know that this is about the only game you have. You work 5 days a week, attend events on Saturdays, and Sundays we try to be home to be good fathers and mothers. So I apologize greatly for stealing that time. But it is worth the time that you have taken away from family, because until we're able to keep our state safe, our families will be safe. And you'll be thinking that this is a press briefing on roads. So what does safety have to do with it? People have commonly agreed with the proposition that everything rises and falls to leadership. But you would know that if you probe further, you know everything rises and falls to information. Because even the leader needs information. He acts on the basis of information available to him or her at that particular time. And therefore, it is important that we come to have information. Because like you do know as professionals, information can become misinformation. It can become disinformation. It can become malinformation. And in any of its variants, immediately leaves information. It doesn't do society any good. It causes harm. And traditionally, it's said that the absence of information concomitantly promotes the presence of rumor. And which is why, at the fastest available period, we must try to see how best we can get information across to you, so that information will dispel rumor.
The chairman of Akwa Ibom State Environmental Protection and Waste Management Agency also presented update on the sector.
As individuals, we have a responsibility to take care of our surroundings and ensure that we contribute to a clean and healthy environment. This can be achieved by simple actions such as proper waste disposal. The appointment of resource persons expired, and His Excellency the Governor has magnanimously approved the appointment of some resource persons who are undergoing training right now, and they will resume on the first day of November 2024. We've also engaged and appointed resource persons who have passion for the environment. As I speak with you now, yes, I knew there was a lacuna, that teething problem of transition. And as I speak with you today, intervention is ongoing. Where since 4 days ago, we are on intervention. As I speak with you, that same intervention is ongoing. Areas like Obimo, Hilltop market, and environment are undergoing certain interventions. I'm also glad to announce to you today that His Excellency the Governor has approved the purchase of 5 number swing arm garbage trucks and 5 number compactor trucks. He has also approved the construction of 50 number 6,000 liter dumpsters for the start, which will be placed in different locations with high volume of waste within Uyo capital city. You know, environmental issues, we've also tried to securitize environmental issues, moving them from the era of non-politicized to politicized, and now we are securitizing environmental issues. His Excellency has also approved the release of 100 million from the Community Watch as environmental marshals to Akwa Ibom State Environmental Protection and Waste Management Agency. They have undergone training for the past 3 months, and they will be deployed on the 1st of November 2024 into the streets. They are to enforce environmental laws and to also apprehend people who have gone against environmental laws. And I believe that when that starts, we are not going to shout. At least we will support them to ensure Akwa Ibom State is clean. We are also going to establish clean-up clubs in schools, sanitation corps. We are going to partner with IOCs. We are going to partner with donor agencies to ensure Akwa Ibom State is clean. His Excellency has also approved the construction of Uyo Village Road. In constructing that road, we as an agency, we must commission the present dump site in Uyo Village Road. We also had a meeting with Abitek, the construction company, and the Commissioner for Lands, who has also identified 3 different locations in Uyo capital city for us to have a dump site. The new dump site is not going to be a dump site, it's going to be a sanitary landfill. And that will be constructed in a very short time. So which means your village road will no more house the dump site. Rather, we'll do a level of decommissioning, we'll do bioremediation, we'll do bioaugmentation, biospatial, so as to release the material from that place to get the construction to go. We have also demarcated Uyo into different zones. Uyo capital city, what I mean Uyo capital city is not just Uyo local government area. We have in Yomo, we have in Tsubu, we have in Iho, we have in Oran, we have in Mexico and Switzerland. So we have demarcated Uyo capital city into different zones. So Uyo capital city will no more have one dump site. Uyo capital city will have 3 dump sites as we have agreed. Out of the machines we're going to buy, 5 of them will be 5 compacting trucks. We know the world over that people pay for their business. And these 5 compacting trucks, we're going to put them in select housing estates, such as with housing, shelter-free, 100-unit, and prime estates. This is to begin or commence the house-to-house waste evacuation. Each of these compactors will be running twice or thrice every week in these estates. Please, residents of those estates, most especially in shelter, if you are taking your waste, keep your waste in front of the house, because there is no dump site that has been approved in shelter. Neither have we approved any dump point in the warehousing. So please, which means 1st of November you have to keep your waste in front of the house, and those compacting trucks will move around the houses, pick up those waste, give you cellophane bags, and you will pay for the evacuation of those wastes. The agency will also construct sewage treatment facilities, because the existing sewage dump sites was not meant for sewage, for the dumping of sewage. So we are going to construct a sewage treatment facility. Going to support mobile courts so as to ensure that defaulters will be punished and brought to book for violating environmental laws. His Excellency the Governor has also talked about recycling. Some companies like Safi Energy have also indicated interest, and other companies have also shown interest in recycling. We have moved some of them to Akiko, and in Akiko we have the investment analysis. So as soon as they are done with the analysis of those companies, I believe we will kickstart the recycling process.
Well, those are the much we're able to bring you on this week's edition of your favorite program, the Hilltop Mansion. I remain Kelvin Samuel with the hope that you join us again next week, same time, same station, for another fresh edition. Wishing you and yours all the best.
Água,